Greetings. Welcome back to Keys for the Unhinged, episode 10. I am Ufarda. Nice to see you. I hope everybody is doing well. You're having a wonderful day. Stuff like that. I'm doing well. It's Saturday morning and it's kind of gloomy outside, and that's pretty much how I feel. I could have slept longer, but it is what it is. So it's all good. Um, I haven't been up to a whole lot lately. Working on a project, and that's pretty much all I've been doing. Of course, family stuff also, but definitely staying busy and resting when I want to rest. I hope you are too. I hope you're giving yourself time to relax, recharge, whatever it is that you need to do. Um, so, right now, the word that keeps coming up that I hear is crossroads. At the crossroads, which I'm assuming that's a place that comes anyways, um, especially when you're on a journey and you're unlearning a lot of stuff and trying to get back to you, trying to get back to yourself. And so, crossroads. I'm at crossroads. Um, I have an idea of what it is I want to do, what it is I'm feeling to do, but sometimes it's like, is that what I'm supposed to do? But it's what you're supposed to do, and then you still second guess, is it what I'm supposed to do? So it's an interesting, it's an interesting time. And so now it's like, just sit and be quiet so I can listen to the inner me. A lot of times we listen to this person's idea, this person's idea, this person's suggestions, and we need to listen to ourselves. We need to listen to ourselves. So it can cause for sitting in meditation twice a day instead of once, maybe 3 times a day. I don't know. And it's not a rush. I don't feel like it's a rush, but sometimes when you're on a journey for like 15 years, you know, it's like, okay, I'm ready to get to it. I'm ready to get to it. I'm ready to get to it. But it doesn't always work like that. So, as I said, I'm at a crossroads. I like to read. I love to read. And I have so many books that I have brought over I guess since September. Since September, last September. October, November, December, January. Yeah, September 2024. It's been a lot of books I have brought, but that's not the voices. It's not from the books because, you see them, and then I go to this bookstore called McKay's, and oh my goodness, they just have so many books. They have new books, but for the most part, the books that I see and the ones that I paid for, they're used books. And a lot of times I could find a book that's like $12, but I'm, I'm gonna shop, so I'll look online and I'll find it maybe for $6. And then, of course, I'll buy it online, especially if it's at a price where I'm like, I could probably find this cheaper. So while I'm even in the store, I'll look and I'll see it online. I'm like, it's cheaper. So I'll check and see if I can find it cheaper. If I don't see it somewhere cheaper, then I will just go ahead and get it from the bookstore. Well, so, and I do a lot of books online too, but so when I go there, it's huge. It's a huge bookstore. The children, of course, always like to get out. And if I'm going to look for something for myself, it's almost impossible taking the children and trying to look in a bookstore. So I don't go there often. I usually go there when I'm looking for something. Some people go to the bookstore just to be there and then to look and read while they're there, but I actually go when I'm looking for a particular book or a particular subject. And so the books, I recently got a book. It's called The 12 Powers of Man, and I have 4 pages left to finish it. It's, oh my goodness, I wasn't looking for this book. It's one of those things where you're looking for something, you're just looking, you're looking. But it was literally on the shelf, but it wasn't lined up like it was supposed to be. It was up on top of the other books, but laying on its side. And it was one of those books, of course, someone had pulled and just put up there. It didn't even belong in that section. And me, I'm like, but that's how I think. I'm expecting to find stuff where it's not supposed to be, kind of like. And so when I saw it, I'm like, what's that? And I pulled it, and it's called The 12 Powers of Man. It's an awesome book. I think the writer, I don't know if he's a Christian, but that word comes up often in the book. But the way that he approaches the scriptures, it's from a metaphysical and allegorical standpoint. And oh my goodness, when I got it and I flipped through it and I'm like, it's old too, so it doesn't have like the summary of the book on the back. You're not going to find that. So, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my goodness. It's awesome because it's this sister. I saw one of her shorts on YouTube, and I don't know her name. I don't even follow her. And I think the page is See Beyond Reality. I think so. And they do like a lot of shorts from people who are speaking not from a Christian standpoint. These are people who are, I guess, who have walked away from religion. And so it's a lot of shorts on people speaking about the allegorical messages in the Bible, pretty much. And this book is just awesome. So out of all the books that I have brought since September, which is maybe about 12, I have 4 pages and I'll be finished reading it. And as soon as I'm finished reading it, I'm going to start over from the beginning again. It's only like 144 pages. And this book I got maybe about 6 weeks ago. But I'm also reading a book. It's the Indian. I'm not going to get the title right, but it's basically like the Indian healing aspect of crystals. Um, And that's an awesome book too. So I'm reading that right now too. And then it's a book I'm also reading, and it's called um, "You're a You Forever." That's one of them, and it's another one, and that's not the one I was gonna say, but it's called like a. I have to definitely get. I'll definitely get the titles and put the titles up here, okay? But it's something about uh, you're a soul having a you're a soul having a human experience, something like that. But these are just awesome books because um, it's talking about you being timeless, and looking at things from a metaphysical standpoint, looking at things from a standpoint of that, okay, I am not this, you know, um, I am beyond this. I am infinite. I have no end. And that's amazing in itself. It's amazing in itself. I don't even know why we went this direction, but um, it's just it's amazing. And if it's amazing in itself, why do we get stuck at crossroads? Mm, I don't know. I mean, it has to do with fear, doesn't it? It has to do with fear. I don't know what else it can do with. It can be about, but it has to be fear. But if I'm looking outside, first of all, of course, this is my first time doing a video for the podcast. So I'm, used to I'm not even usually sitting here. I'm in the kitchen. I'm usually sitting in the den. And where I sit is a window, and I'm able to look out the window. But in the kitchen, I'm able to look out the big window. And, but fear, 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 fear. It, I want to say it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But we make it exist because we create it. We create the what ifs. We create the doubt instead of knowing, oh, this is what I heard. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I see. This is what I'm going to do. Mm. It's always easier said than done. Always. But it's like it's no turning back either. It's not even possible to turn back. Like, you know, it's like when you start to go in a direction and you know that what you turned away from no longer serves you on your journey, you don't go back. And going forward, it will be maybe situations that appear, and they can, because of things that we have been taught, because of old programming. It could be things that come up, voices, whatever, but things that come up and they bring up fear. Crossroads. So, you know, my personality is where if I have the directions, tell me, it's like, tell me what needs to be done and I'll get it done. But why does it have to be to someone else? Tell me what it is that you want done and I'll get it done. How come it can't be Ufara? Well, my soul's not named Ufara, so, but how can it be higher self? Tell me what it is that you want done and I'll get it done. Like, but getting it done is a must. It's a must. It's a must. It's a must. It's a must. For me, it is. I don't want to go back to what no longer serves me, what no longer is going to be stepping stones for my continuation in my journey, you know? So, it is what it is. Life is wonderful, though. Life is wonderful, and it's all about the journey. It's just when you come to the crossroads. And why does it matter? Why does it matter what anyone thinks? Why does it matter what the outcome is going to be? Especially when you come to the realization that life is a journey and it's about experiences, and it's about if it does not turn out the way you want it to turn out, that means to learn from it. Like, come on now. Now, fussing at myself, which is okay. But, it's like, what is the issue? What's the problem? But we already said what the problem is. Goodness, we already said what the problem is. The problem is people talking in your ear, voices. Everybody has an opinion, and um, they're good. Um, Opinions are good. I guess the reason for opinions is so that you can take what someone says and then you could take it and you can balance it on your own scales. Because people are at different points in their lives and they're at different levels. So the level that I am on, and then say if Tom wants to give me an opinion about a situation that I'm in, and it's pertaining to the way I eat, but Tom eats whatever he wants to eat and he doesn't eat concerning his health, then it's like you cannot give me advice on healthy eating when you put anything you want to put in your body. So, so it just depends, because when people give their 2 cents and their suggestions, it's not always according to the level that you were on. It's from where they are standing at. So, we have to take that into consideration. Um, but, and then I went to the books because I know I said something about too many voices. And the voices are not coming from the books. I don't think, because these books that I'm reading, it's just about you um, being in your highest power, you flexing the gifts that you have been given as a infinite soul, you know. So it's it wouldn't be the books that I'm talking about, and that's the type of books that I'm reading. Um, I did get, it's by Queen Afua, and it's about the woman. I did get that book. I've actually had that book not too long, for a couple of months now, and I started reading it, and it's not boring, but um, I don't know. I guess my mental stimulation is different, um, but I've only gotten to like page 20, and I've had it for a few months, longer than these last two books that I've gotten. Um, but I don't know. I really, really, really want to dig into that book. I really want to read it, but mm, I don't know. So, yeah, my journey is about exploring life, exploring what I feel at the moment, exploring what I feel for the week, for the day. I mean, whatever. It's a journey. Excuse me. Oh, it's all about the journey. It's all about evolving. It's all about being the best version of myself, spreading love, um, joy, happiness, all those positive things. I don't see why people feel it's a must for negativity to be, so that there could be a balance. And I've probably even said something like that before. And actually, I think in my last recording, in episode 9, I was speaking about it. But love is. Love is. Why can't it just stop at that? It's obviously people who come along and they just want to disrupt a good thing. Um, so yeah, we have, situations like that, but um, how come it can't just be love? Love is. How come it can't just be that? Because I think that when people do things, oh, you know what? It's this movie. It's a TV show, actually. It's a TV show on Hallmark Plus. Okay, and and it's oh, excuse me. Mm. And it's called The Good Witch. And I had never seen it before. My mom had told me about a show that she was watching up there. No, about a movie that she was watching up there. And it was this, and I don't even remember the name of it, but it was this rich guy. Uh, he had grandchildren, and he passed away. But before he passed away, he was looking at his progeny, and I think I could use that word for his grandchildren, right? He was looking at his progeny. He was looking at his grandchildren, and you're talking about they're 45, 50. They're older, and I'm not saying that's old, but they're not young grandchildren, is what I was saying. The youngest grandchild is probably about 20, and so the older grandchildren, he was looking at them. They were rotten. They were, they didn't have no humility. They were just like nasty people. And he looked at the mistakes he made because he was filthy rich, and he wanted and they, had businesses and they had money, probably never actually worked, and just they were just like the epitome of stuck up rich people. Okay. And so noticed he was getting sick, and he was like, well, his youngest, and so he actually gave, what am I thinking? So came time to give the inheritance out. I'm jumping around, but I do that. Anyways, um, it was time to give them their inheritance. And so, of course, they all come to this meeting and they're like, oh, that's what he gave me. That's what he gave me. That's what he gave me. And mind you, they're already rich. They already have whatever it is they want, okay? And so the youngest finally came, and and they're like, okay, well, don't you want to know which? Because he wasn't gonna go, and he was like, he didn't leave me anything. We didn't even get along. And they're like, well, you should go and find out. And so he goes, and it's a box. And I guess he was expecting to hear, oh, he left you this much money. But he was living good himself because he was born into a filthy rich family. And so, he's like, what about, like a box, like, what, like, okay, what the heck? And the guy was like, well, what's in this box, you can have it, but you have to go through these 12, it's like I'm gonna call it this 12-step program. That's not what it is, but it's like 12 steps. His grandfather had 12 different tasks that he wanted his grandson to go through and to finish. And then once you finish these 12 tasks, then you can have the box. You can have, what's in the box. And so, he's just like, no, and then what would you call him? The guy who worked with the grandfather, they end up becoming like best friends. And so he was, telling the guy, he was like, you don't want to try? And he's like, for what? He's like, but you won't know what's inside the box unless you try. And so the grandfather wanted his son, the youngest grandson, he wanted to try to turn him around. He wanted him to be different than how the older ones turned out. So he wanted him to experience having a real friend. He wanted him to experience love. He wanted him to experience being homeless. He wanted him to experience, like, it was 12 different things, like helping somebody. And, and then the guy comes back. He's like, okay, I'll try it. But his first thing that he had to do was lose everything he had. He had to get his expensive car taken away. He had to get his, um, he was going out with his girl, and they went to an expensive restaurant where, you have, like the champagne's probably like $10,000 a bottle, and and it comes to pay for the bill, right? And then, he gets the car, and they're like, I'm sorry, whatever his name was, your car is not working. He's like, try it again, and they're like, okay, it's not working. He's like, well, here, let me give you another card. They're like, it's not working. And his girlfriend, y'all, she had a crap load of money too, a whole lot of money, and he's like, and they're eating, and he's like, do you mind paying for the bill? She was like, what? He's like, my card is not working. Can you pay for our meal? She was like, you're asking me to pay for the meal? And she starts like crying and leaves him. And he's like, okay. So It's just it's a good movie. I'll tag the name of it, you know, in the description. Okay. But and, so he's like, huh, okay, so he loses the girl, right? Because his dad's like, not his dad, his granddad. He wants him to experience real love, you know, and um, and so she leaves him. Like I said, he loses his $1 million car. He loses his place. He has to go sleep on the park bench, So he goes through all these stages, and while he's at the park um, bench, he meets this little girl. He meets this little girl, and she is like, oh my goodness, her personality, she's so headstrong. She is so outspoken. She's just everything in a little package, you know. And he meets her, and she tells it like it is. She says whatever she wants to say, all that stuff. And he's supposed to be going through these things. Make the long story short, I don't want to tell you the whole movie. It's a good movie, but I'm talking about the movie. I'm like, hold on, I don't want to tell you the whole movie, but I'm talking about the movie. So um he ends up getting the box at the end, okay? And and he it's a good movie. I don't even know why I went to that movie. Why did I bring that movie up? Hmm. I don't know. The Gift. Is that the name of it? The Gift? It's called The Gift, y'all. And actually on Hallmark too. I think it's like three of them. I only watched the first one because I really liked the characters in the first one. The second one is totally different people, but it's just, I guess the same concept. And my mom actually said the first one was the best. But I like Hallmark because it's no really, from my understanding, it's no, you're not going to see really no sex scenes. You're not going to hear a lot of profanity, um, if any. And it's the feel good stuff. It's the stuff that makes you be like, oh, I want to go give somebody a hug, or you might shed some tears because it touched you. So yeah, I do like Hallmark. So on Hallmark, that's the first thing I saw. My mom was like, oh, you have to check it out. So I pulled it up and I checked that out with my children. And then the next one was The Good Witch. I like that show, and it reminds me of me because I would like to. It's like she's an alchemist, okay? And people, um, it's coming back. It's coming back. People, love is. I don't believe that people who have been born the way that I have been born by the ultimate creator, I don't believe that they're 100% dark. That's just my thoughts. Because if you come from the ultimate creator and the ultimate creator is in you, it doesn't make sense to me that you can be all dark. It means that you went into a space, like in the movie Soul, you went into a space and that's just what you see. But I believe that light can be brought to such people. It's a certain kind of light, in someone who can bring that light to that person that's in that darkness. And love is. And that's what I believe. But that movie, The Good Witch, like I was saying, she like situations happen, and every situation, like someone will come, she'll run into someone, and she'll meet them. Everybody she meets, she's given them the opportunity to embrace the light. Every single person she meets. And what's funny is, because I'm in this journey and I'm on my path and whatnot, and uh, I ran across her probably like not even 2 months ago, and it's like, um, things that I have always been into since I was a little girl, they're coming up. And so I'm learning myself. I'm learning what was buried. I'm undigging. It's like, I'm digging. And I'm like, that's a piece of me that I buried. Ah, there's another piece of me that I buried. So that's what is happening to me on my journey. And she's alchemizing every situation that approaches her, and she gives them the light, and she turns their heart on the inside. Oh, mm, mm. Really, really emotional for real. Why? But that is awesome to me. That's amazing to me to have that ability to be able to go inside of someone and to give them the light that they need so that they can see. I think that's awesome. I do. I think that is so awesome. Oh, I do not like crying. Okay. But that's powerful. And I believe it exists. I don't like the word believe because it's like a mist. I know that's what I know. I know that, I mean, it has to be. It doesn't make no sense for it not to be. It doesn't make sense. People who do things, people who go places, people who walk indoors, it's not always because they want to. Sometimes it's because it seems like that's the only option you have at that moment. Like, for instance, I saw a short, not a short, it was this thing that came up on YouTube yesterday. And it was a sister, and she had a best friend. And she was setting up her best friend to see if her best friend would sleep with her man, you know. Um, so on the, how like they have a, I don't even know if you call it a thumbnail, but it's the picture that shows you the name of the video, and it's not a short. It was actually like a 12-minute video, and it said, "Will my best friend sleep with my boyfriend behind my back?" But so the picture that's with the title, the best friend had on some booty shorts. That's what you call them. I mean, they were real short. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look, I said it before. Our bodies are what they are. I mean, the human body is beautiful. I will attest to that, okay? And I know that. But I think we should be a little bit more modest about what it is we wear. And like some things I don't think you should wear out in public. I mean, like some things should be covered. And it's okay with wearing shorts, but wearing shorts with your butt hanging out, I just think it's too much. And I think we need to like respect ourselves and then more the people who we are facing. Okay. So anyways, make the long story short, I didn't watch the video. Okay. I went to the comments, and people were, because I wanted to know what happened. I didn't want to watch the video. I don't really like to watch stuff like that. You have to guard the avenues of your mind. You have to pay attention to what it is you watch. You have to pay attention to what it is you listen to. Y'all, it is so imperative to guard yourself, okay? And so, you know, one of the comments was like, he's dirty too because he da 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 whatever. So I'm assuming she failed the test. But I made a comment, and the comment said 9 times out of 10 she has childhood trauma and things that she is dealing with. That's why she's dressed like that. When we dress like that, it automatically knows, not automatically knows, it automatically shows there's underlying issues to why we exploit ourselves like that. I mean, like, come on, y'all. It's underlying issues going on. And for her to fail the test lets me also know that she has male issues. Maybe her father wasn't there. I mean, like, it's something deeper than, oh, just I'm gonna see if you failed the test. That wasn't right. I thought that was dirty because, like I said, you already know she has childhood trauma issues. You already know she has male issues because she's given herself like that. I mean, like, what is wrong with us? And it's a lot wrong with us because she shouldn't have been set up like that. The girl, her best friend, you weren't her best friend anyways because you set her up that way, which you probably have childhood issues, trauma too. But it's not, I mean, so it's just, and so pretty much that's what my comment said. It was like, that's why we can't rise. That's what's keeping us from rising as a people. We all have gone through some kind of stuff, some kind of something, and it was before the age of where we really even knew better. And if that's the case, she needs healing. She needs to do childhood, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But shadow work. She needs to heal. She needs help. And instead of saying, hey, how can I help my friend? Or, looking at that stuff from that aspect, you want to set her up. And therefore, you just added more to her wounds and to the boyfriend's wounds too. Not to say that he should be forgiven or anything like that. I'm not saying anything like that. But I'm just saying both people needed help. And that wasn't the way to approach helping those people. That's what I'm saying. And it goes back to love. I mean, dang. But it's hard to give it when you haven't had it. And if you have not had it genuinely, you don't know what it is. But it's what can heal everything. It's no reason for anger. It's no reason for disgust. It's no reason for manipulation. It's no reason for um, what? It's, all those negative energies. It's no reason for that. It's no reason for it. When it's absolutely necessary, then it's absolutely necessary. And 9 times out of 10, it's not. It's just, I think, when things happen, things are happening. And so we don't think to stop and to see how we can alchemize the situation and to make it fit. But every person that she comes across, every situation, like I said, she's a good witch, and she has a store um in the she has a store in the TV show. Okay, she has a store, and in her store, she has sage, she has crystals, she has something for everybody's issue, y'all. Like somebody be like, oh, this is going on, and she's like, I got the perfect thing for you, and she'd be like, oh, this is going on. You need this. Oh, this is going on. You need that. Everybody she comes across. And I think that is off the chain. That's awesome, to alchemize every situation for good. Every situation. And I'm like, that's me, that's me. That's I want it to be me, okay? So it's just awesome how I'm on this journey that I'm on, and I feel like and then I come across this show because it was like the Good Witch, and then her aura I just liked. I'm like, oh, let's see what that is. And so we all watch it, from the husband to my 2-year-old. No, 2, she's 3. She be in and out. But it's a good show. I think we're on episode like 6. I like it. But this episode that I just got to, her husband, I don't know what happened to her original husband. We didn't even finish episode 6. You know how like sometimes you have original characters and then they go away because like they had a baby, and now her daughter's like 13. So it's supposedly been that time span. And I haven't seen her husband yet. I hope he pops up because I liked him. He was a part of the show. So, but it's just, so I can definitely attest to episode 1 through 6 of The Good Witch. Y'all should watch it. It's good. Every situation, she acclimatizes it. Some people come, they trying to steal from her. She's like, her husband's like, because he's like the police chief, her husband's like, we need to do this. We need to do that. And she's like, no, we need to just wait. And she's so calm too, she's like, no, we need to just wait. We need to let things play out how they're going to play out. We need to just wait and have faith and just wait and see. And that's how she is, she's like, we just need to wait and see. I need to blow my nose. She's like, we just need to wait and see. And he's like, what are we waiting for? Like, she already stole from you. What are we waiting for? She's like, yeah, but that's because she's in a certain space in her heart. But she doesn't know that she doesn't want to be like that. It's just that's the way she is because of the situation that she's in. And if she's given the chance, she'd be different. Y'all, I gotta go blow my nose. Hold on. Okay, so that's how she looks at every situation. Every situation, she's like, oh, I got exactly what I need to flip it. And she does, and she flips it. Um, a long lost cousin of hers popped up, and she saw that she was doing good, and she thought that she like abandoned her, and when her parents died, the good witch, her parents nor her came to look for her cousin to help her, and so she was coming to destroy her life, and she was dibbling dabbling into witch stuff too, and and she was dibbling dabbling into alchemy. Let's use that word, okay, and um and so she came, she came. She was like, I'm about to do this. I'm about to wreck her life. I'm about to da 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 whatever. And of course, and so when she met her, she was like, hey, she was da da da. She ended up telling her, my parents didn't come and save you because my parents died also. And I was a little girl going through stuff, foster home and whatnot. And she was like, oh, okay. But she was trying to she was trying to every single part, like her children, her husband's job. She was destroying everything she could, her store. And she was just like, okay. And, then her husband's like, we need to put her in jail. We need to, da da da. We got evidence that she's stolen. She's like, I don't remember the husband's name. And she's like, Tom. His name is not Tom, y'all. For every, like, when I want to use a guy's name, I use that word or that name. And I don't know why. I don't know what's up with the name Tom in me, okay? But anyways, and she's like, Tom, no. And he's like, but she's done this and she's done destroyed everything. And she was like, look, all she needs is to be shown the light. All she needs is love. All she needs is a sincere hug. And he's like, Cassie, that's her name. That's the witch's name. The alchemist's name, Cassie. He's like, Cassie, I don't know about you. Like, every situation. And everybody's like, it was Cassie. It was Cassie. Everybody's like, how did Cassie? This turned out like that. Cassie. How did Cassie? And it is. It's Cassie. I like that show, y'all. I think I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna finish that episode today that I have not finished because I didn't see her husband, but I'm gonna cut it back on, and maybe I hope he pops up, or I'll finish that episode. It's different because when I last saw her daughter, excuse me, it was 3 episodes. Okay, it was that one that I'm on now that I didn't finish. The one before it, her daughter was like 4 because she was in like kindergarten, I think, or she might have been 5. And then the one before that, she was a baby. She was just born. So they went from there, and then she was 5, and then now she's like 14. So it's like, dang, where'd time go? You know? And actually, and Brandon, her son, he's not even in the episode I'm on now. They switched him up, but his wife is the same because he just got married, and his sister is the same. Which, oh goodness, goodness. But yeah. So, what's the moral? Not the moral. Did I say that? What's the moral of the story? Yeah, but what does that mean to say what's the moral of the story? The moral. What's the what we at? 54:18. Oh, wow. Um, we're almost at an hour, people. But I don't know. Fear. It doesn't exist. It only exists when you invite it in, when you concoct thoughts, when you hear past people talking, when you hear certain energies, certain things um, pop up. It doesn't exist. It's no reason to be afraid. It's no reason to have fear because that just means go back to the drawing board and do it again. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to learn. And it's an opportunity to alchemize the situation for a better ending. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Yay! It makes sense. Just do it. Nike. Anyways, I don't have no Nike item in my house, okay? So I'm not into that. But you know that slogan, just do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. It's okay. It's okay. If you got the unction to do it, if you got the feeling to do it, especially if your intentions are good. You know, sometimes you'd be like, I'm about to go and break into these people's houses. I'm not talking about those unctions. I'm not talking about those feelings, none of that stuff, okay? But if your intentions are good and your heart is pure and it knows love is, just do it. Try it. Life is a journey. It's a journey. And if it doesn't turn out like you want it to turn out, alchemize it until it turns out the way you want it to turn out. Okay? Have a wonderful rest of your day. Smile. Okay? And when you come to the crossroads, alchemize it. Alchemize it. You are the creator of your universe. And if you've dealt a card that you didn't want to play, alchemize it. Until next time, see ya.